Good evening, everyone. Today is a Friday, and today we want to have a conversation on issues that we've been experiencing as a country, and we also want to have a discussion on how we can try to rebuild our country, especially after the many things that we've been seeing happening of late. Let me take this opportunity now to give a chance to my brother Benson. Say hi to the viewers.
Makobura, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to have a conversation with you, especially on issues that are affecting our nation. As you know very well, we've been going through a lot for the past, would I say, 2 weeks. A lot has been happening, and hopefully we will rebuild our nation and be where we're supposed to be. But I think we need to have more conversation about our country. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be with you.
You're highly welcomed. You can now proceed with the conversation as the lead in this conversation.
Oh, okay. One of the something that is has really struck me is about this country or what has happened. I think we still have a problem, and the reason why I'm saying we still have a problem is you are alive to the fact that like today the some clergy, especially from Catholics, they went and had a meeting with the president, at State House. And I saw the photos going around on the social media. And again, I also saw a photo going around on clergy also visited the Molo MP. It's called Kimani
Korea.
Kuria, yeah, the chairman of the budget committee. And um, what stood out for me there was like, to me, I think they started on the wrong foot. By that I mean, we have families who are mourning, family who are grieving, and I think it could have been very better if, first of all, we solve and console the families who are grieving. Then we could now start to go and have a conversation, maybe go to the State House. Because, you remember there's this notion about especially the clergy that we have with them, about how they've engaged themselves in politics and benefiting in it. So I think that was not the best way to me. Maybe them, they saw it wise that that could be the best way. But to me, I feel like the people who could have been consoled were the people who are mourning right now. If you could have find a chance to go either to the hospital or you go to the morgue where some of the heroes are lying, you would see that pain. Especially our mothers are crying in pain. I saw um, a young lady um, crying, asking for the grandson, and she was so emotional. And you say, like, at that age, not only her, but like, if you go to social media, you'll see our mothers, So I think the clergy would have started with consoling with the family, that could have been better, console them, pray for them, give them that hope. But if you're starting for the wrong note, that you're going to find a way on how to start the negotiation, how could you start the negotiation yet some people are still grieving? So there, it was not good for me. I condemn the destruction of property, especially to what happened to the MP for Molo. But at some times also as clergy, why would you go and pray over there that cleansing the ground? And yet we have families who are mourning. So to me, that is something that I picked out that was not appealing to me. I feel like they could have started on with the people, then go to the leaders. That is my take.
It is true. I also saw the same, and from the observation that from what I've been seeing, Remember, Ruto has been a darling of this clergy for quite some
Mm-hmm.
time. And even during his campaign, most of the time he would go and campaign in churches, and the bishops and the clergies would tell us how uh, Mr. Ruto was the best president, a God sent president for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the same people who convinced us using their platforms as the heads of clergies to vote for Mr. William Samoei Ruto, the current president. I
Yeah.
think they're messing up this country
Mm-hmm.
because these are the people who are, to me, I would say it's hypocrisy of the highest degree
Yeah.
among the clergy,
Yeah.
because just because these members of parliament or people in presidency, whenever they go to these churches, they give them a lot of money. That doesn't stop them from fighting for the rights of people. I used to see sometimes back the likes of some a bishop, one called Ndindi Mwana somebody. He was a Catholic priest. I mean a Catholic bishop. He died, I think, some years back.
Yeah.
Not just him, so many SK bishops who are fighting for the rights of the people of Kenya.
Kenya. Yeah.
Them were even being hunted by the ruling parties, but they stood their ground.
Mm.
Among the people who helped the Republic of Kenya up to this stage
Yeah.
where we are not even seeing the democracy,
Mm-hmm.
most of them are the clergy. But it is so unfortunate that today, where we are,
Yeah.
most clergy have been supporting the president. They are not supporting the people. They are not standing and correcting the government. All they are looking for is handouts from the president, money being taken to churches with the magonia. This
Yeah.
is what is making them happy, and this, to me, it is not a right thing. If these clergymen were truly truthful to themselves and also to the people
Mm-hmm.
that they are leading or preaching to, they
Yeah.
would have first consoled the families who lost their kin, their sons or sisters. That is the first thing that they would have done. It is so unfortunate that the first thing they were now doing is going to the state house. Not just today that we saw clergymen in the state house, even the day before yesterday, there were a group of clergymen who were in the state house. And this also tells you that as much as it is good and it is true that God should come first,
Yeah.
but the way they're trying to approach things is not right.
Mm-hmm.
If truly they want to solve issues, if truly they want to console the people, if truly they want to ensure that they are doing things the right way,
Yeah.
they would first uh, gone to the hospitals and at least paid for the bills of those people who are hurt by the police officers. They would have gone to the morgues and at least compensated the families who lost the lives of very young youths.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he would have apologized as a
Yeah.
president before the people, because he's the president of the Republic of Kenya. He
Yeah.
has the mandate and the authority to say sorry, especially the people who died because he was making a wrong decision. And these
Mm-hmm.
people are fighting, saying, no, the decision you're making is the wrong one. And that is the reason why there was demonstration. And that resulted to the death of so many people. So it
Yeah.
is him, the president, together with the group of members of parliament who made the wrong decision. And that is what led to the death of so many youths. The kind of channel that they're trying to follow
Yeah.
currently is not a good one.
Okay, you mentioned one of the SEK bishops that you meant. That I can also mention Reverend Timothy Njoya. You know,
Yeah,
Timothy Njoya is one of one of the religious leaders in this our country that we celebrate. I celebrate him because I've never met him, but I've seen some of the photos when he was fighting for the rights of the people, how he was beaten. So if people like Reverend Timothy Njoa paid a price for this country to be where it is, but now we are seeing um, um, some clergy leadership that actually that is questionable. And this sometimes remind me, and I look back and say like Should we go back to um, the African, we call it the African spirituality, on how our forefathers used to live? Because I don't think that our forefathers would compromise and have a negotiation that do not benefit their children or their grandchildren. So that is something that we need to watch, and that's where the problem is. And I tell you 100%. I told you one of the reasons, why our country, where we are here, is about leadership. And leadership, I did not only mean the leadership, those who are vying for elective seats. No, I did not mean that. I mean the leadership everywhere. The church leadership, yeah. We have the elected leaders, the people who are employed in various offices, the judiciary, the police, everywhere. Because as we speak today, the judiciary has not even made any pressing to talk about the issue that is happening in the country. Yeah, nobody from the judiciary, either the CJ, Martha Kome, she has not made any announcement or briefing concerning what has been happening, and come out and say, okay, this is what is happening. I know there was a day she wrote, they are very open to anybody who is abducted, they can go. But that was not enough. The leadership of the police, of police service, have not come out even to give the briefing the nation what transpired. Until right now, we've not had any. The only person that we can congratulate and say this time around, the president for LSK, Faith Odiamo. This lady, she has shown leadership ever since we've had LSK president. But for Faith, it has been quite much different leadership. She's
It's
been on
true.
the ground. She's been up and down, and I think she should be given her flowers. She has done a good job in terms of the constitution and fighting for people. So, Faith, we congratulate you, and may God continue to bless you for good work that you've done for your country, and may God continue blessing you. And Makobura was telling that we are a mourning nation right now. I even gave you earlier when we were talking about our mothers crying in pain for losing their kids. No, any other parent will be very happy to lose the heroes. I call them the heroes because they made, what happened in Githurai 44. You know what happened in Rongai just yesterday, I think, when we were having a show. What is your take on Rongai, especially as somebody who is the citizen of this beautiful nation called Kenya?
First, I also want to congratulate the LSK Society, led by one Faith advocate, Faith Odhiambo. I think the LSK for the first time has stood their ground. They are really, I think it's the whole new society that is currently fighting for the rights of people actively and consistently. It's a good thing, and for that we really commend and we thank the Law Society of Kenya for having elected a leadership that is active, a leadership that is vigilant, a leadership that understands the role of advocating for the rights of people, defending the rights of the people, and also do, doing their opposition. They say opposition or what? Being vigilant, I mean.
Now, for
And
the providing the legal framework and to the nation, to the citizens.
yeah, it's actually true that they posted something that they were providing free legal services to anyone who was arrested and taken to court. That's a
Yes.
nice thing that we have to commend. And we also want to tell the people in leadership that such kind of characters are the ones that we want to see in them. They have to be vigilant. They have to stand with the people. They have to point and to say things as things are.
Okay.
So on what happened yesterday in Rongai, I think it's just the normal that has been happening. The mandamano was going on there, and then it is being said that the number of police officers who were there were few, and then when they were overpowered, a group of some youths then started looting. No, I mean when they were overpowered, they started live shooting people, and then after some time, a group of looters also joined, and now they were looting left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm.
After that, that is when they got some backup. The police got some backup, and then they arrested so many youths. Some of them were killed.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think arresting them was a good thing, but killing, I don't think the constitution is very clear. Should we shouldn't be killing people. These are not. These are youths of the Republic of Kenya. These are not thieves. Only thieves, and even a thief should not be killed.
Yes.
Should not be killed. There's a clear way of how people who have been found stealing should be handled. So we don't understand why the police is using excess force when handling a group of youths who are also protesting because of what they feel is not right in the country.
Okay. Thank you so much, Makobur. And this one still brings me to what I call leadership. I'm not very sure, but the rumors has it that the people, especially the goons who came and started looting, you know, these were goons, and is not verified. Sources reveal like they were hired by the area MP, you know, and this hiring of goons.
It could be true because the same we saw in Eldoret.
Yeah,
And I actually want to use this platform to address the people of Eldoret.
yeah,
I mean, the leadership of Eldoret.
hmm,
It is wrong
yeah,
to hire a group of people to interfere with the people who are demonstrating, people who are saying the rights are being undermined, people who are saying that the rights they're being denied their rights. It is wrong to hire a group of goons to go and start beating them. That is so wrong, and that shows the dictatorship in the leadership of Eldoret. I mean, Wasingishu County, and that is something that we should all say no to, because if it is so wrong that I'm outside protecting the lives of the people of Kenya, speaking issues which are really affecting us as a people, and then a group of people who think that whatever I'm saying is wrong or not right with them because the president comes from that place, then they now go start hiring others to come and beat you. That is so wrong. That is dictatorship of the highest degree. And for
and
that reason, I
yeah.
want to tell the youths who are hired by the leadership of Wasingishu County to go and beat or to beat those who are demonstrating. That is cowardice. And
Okay.
if they continue with that kind of behavior, even we, the youth of the Republic of Kenya, we shall, if there's anything wrong happening in that county, we also will not get involved because we are fighting for the whole nation. If we are fighting for the whole nation, you cannot be bribed with 500 shillings to go and beat someone who is helping you, someone who is fighting for your life, fighting for your rights. That was so wrong.
You see, and that's why I insist here that um, for us to have a good nation, let me take this opportunity to thank Mr. Ochola Otiu for joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much. Goodia, thank you so much for your time. Judith, thank you so much. And also those who are joining us on the TikTok, we really appreciate. If you are new in this channel, kindly join by subscription and be part of the conversation, because this is a conversation that we've started and it will continue until we feel that we've actualized our dream as a country, our dream as a people, and our dream in terms of the kind of leadership and the Kenya we want. Just to come back on what I was talking about leadership. And I say, for us to have good leadership so that we do not put rogue leaders into the office, sometimes it requires us to have an audit of these leaders, do a background check of these leaders and know who are they. Let us just don't vote. Because for the case that you've mentioned in Eldoret, how on earth, where we say we are the country of law and order, yeah, people whom we don't know, they're not law enforcers, they're not men and women in the uniform, can come into the street and say we are going to offer counter protest to the people who are protesting for something that is going to help them. And to make the matters worse, until today, no any leadership in Eldoret has come out to condemn what happened. And you want to tell me we are in a country, it tells you our leadership is rotten, you know. So if we do a background check of these leaders and know what they stand for and who they are, this one will stop us from electing rogue leaders. Maybe if you have a point to add there.
I am just wondering if maybe it could be that the people of Uasin Gishu are not feeling the heat that we are feeling in Kenya. It could be they are not suffering, because how do you be hired to counter attack people who are fighting for your life, fighting for your generation, fighting for your kids, fighting for your future, because you've been paid 500 shillings, of which if you go meet those people today, if you ask them if they have that 500 which they were given yesterday, you'll find that no one of them, not even one, will still has that 500 they were given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Just
true.
because the president comes from that county, that doesn't give the leadership of Uasin Gishu to stop people from expressing their right, which is there and even advocated for in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
They cannot thwart anyone who has a different opinion. That was so wrong. And for that, that is not democracy that we've been fighting for. That is not the democracy that the people of Kenya has been enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they continue with the same behavior, the people of Kenya, the youths of the Republic of Kenya, will have to meet the leadership of Uasin Gishu, and they will have to explain to them why they are thwarting the rights of the people of Kenya, a right that they've been given by the Constitution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. And another thing that I would say again, Makobura, to stop the citizen of the country from electing or putting in place rogue leadership is evaluate their characters. You know, there's some leaders that their characters are not the character they exhibit is not worth being elected as a leader. You know, so I think this revolution that is started by the Gen Z, it has given us a perfect opportunity for everyone to evaluate the kind of leaders that we put in offices. If you can remember very well, look at a leader like the majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah. Ichung'wah, when he was saying some of the things that he was saying, that some of this, I may not paraphrase the right thing. They are going to protest with Uber. They go with iPhone. They go and get something from. It depends. The generation is quite much different. How do you say that he cannot go? He cannot go with Uber? Yes, the father is a rich person. Yeah. What is stopping him if he wants to go there? It doesn't matter how you are going to protest or what the kind of cafeteria you're going to have your food while protesting. You have to. The point is, I'm protesting, and there's that generational gap between him and them. You know, so evaluate some of the characters. Yeah. So that's another thing also that as a country we should look at. And this one also requires everybody, the countrymen. This is something that I'm asking of you. Next time when election come, let us avoid this party politics, because at some point party politics has lead us to where we are today. You know, I don't know whether you agree with me. You know,
I do, and from the words of Asike. Asike is a member of nominated member of parliament, Crystal Asike.
yeah.
Uh, and I quote, these were her statement.
Mhm.
Ruto will never convince our generation that he can ever be trusted, ever again. Ruto will never convince our generation that he can ever be trusted ever again. If you have others, then no more talking, just act. We want to wake up in the morning with you, with your MPs and the CS sacked. That is when the people or the young people of Kenya will stop the demonstration.
Marco
And
Bura,
then from
let's welcome. This is our brother. I don't know whether Kenya revolutionary. Marco Bura, would you want to share the link? Share the link if my brother can come into the show and at least give us his view, because I don't know whether I can share it from this other side. Put it on the comment section if he can come and share on with us the kind of leadership that we want, and
I've shared the link, I
okay.
can join. Anyone who wants to be part of the conversation can as well join.
Hey, my brother, if you are there, Kenya Revolutionary, thank you for doing a good job. If you are there or if you're free, you can come even for 5 minutes and tell us what is happening, because we are looking at how we can avoid to put in place the rogue leadership, and what are the criteria that as wananchi we should. One of the criteria that I've just mentioned is to avoid what we call the party politics, and that is something that you are talking about.
Yeah, so again, from the words of Faith Odhiambo, the LSK president,
Yeah.
she also said that she's admitting to the fact that we still have irresponsible and corrupt judges. The war on corruption is coming. They should not think that we are not coming for them. Let's first deal with the issues that we are having right now. CJ Mata Koome should either shape up or ship out, because if people lose trust in the judiciary, they will go back to the streets.
Yeah.
This is very true, and I really like how this the LSK president is articulating issues which are affecting the people of Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
It is true that judiciary, there's too much corruption in judiciary,
Yeah.
and that is the reason why even the members of parliament that we have, the level of incompetence in them,
Mm-hmm.
they are there just because most of them are there just because the judiciary or the judges
Yeah.
gave them, because most of them were presented before the courts, the likes of Sudi. He had a case before the courts and he was given the mandate to proceed and go vie for the seat. So I think the problem that we are having, part of it, the judiciary, the judges are part of it, and that is something that we have to condemn, because they have, of course, they are learned, they have the capacity to do what is right, but the level of corruption, they are being bribed to make decisions which are not truly right. They are being bribed, and then they find themselves not even following the constitution. So
Uh-huh.
this is one thing that we have to condemn as a youth. The next thing, after fighting the incompetent leadership that we have,
Mm-hmm.
starting from the presidency,
Mm-hmm.
the next thing that we should fight
Mm-hmm.
is starting with the CJ, the CJ of the Republic of Kenya,
Yeah.
back down, going down to the judges who are corrupt. We have to fish them out and tell them that the people of Kenya wants truthfulness, want leaders who are standing with truth, want leaders who are going to ensure that truth prevail, that corruption is done away with. We don't want people who are being bribed to make decisions or to make rulings which are not right.
Okay. And thank you, Makubura. You mentioned something that the LSK president, um, 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 Advocate Faith Odhiambo, was saying about the government compensating and are taking full responsibility of the funeral expenses. And this one brings me to a very important thing about, and this is a conversation that we need to have, especially we've had so many demonstrations, and yesterday we were talking about the negotiation, but you find like they usually don't get justice, even from the government. Yeah, they don't. The people who are suffered most in this country are the young people. I'm 100% sure are the young people. The people who are suffered most ever since we've had electoral injustices whereby people go on the street, and they've suffered most with together with their family, but they're the people who have never been compensated. Yeah, they've never, the people who usually get compensated especially are the political class, and this is something that we need to talk about. And that one, they've never seen justice.
Very true, and that is one of the reasons why the young people of Kenya are going for demonstration. We are saying we're not a children of lesser God. The president, any youth, and the president, we are all subject to specific things. We are all human beings. Whatever the president does, if maybe eating or what, we also eat. We are all human beings having the same blood,
Yeah.
breathing the same whatever, the same oxygen. So for that reason, since we've just given them the mandate to be our leaders, that doesn't give them the opportunity to dictate or to make decisions which are not what we really want as a people. That is why we are saying as youths, let them consult when making decisions. We're the people, seizing the Tukukwa ground. We know what we want. We know if we know what should be done, and whatever whatever is right, we know. If we are consulted, we will give the right. We will give them the right opinion. So the people in leadership are simply trying to ignore the people that they are leading, and this is where the problem is coming. As a leader, you have to involve the people that you lead. You
Yeah.
cannot be a leader who stays in Nairobi and you've been electing. You are representing people in Kisumu. You've never even most of these leaders, most of these members of parliament, since the election, they rarely go back to their constituency. They are
Yeah.
just within Nairobi making calls home. They have never gone to the ground to interact with the people who voted them, to understand the problems that they are facing, to
Yeah.
understand whatever, the most important thing that he or she would then consider when making changes.
Uh-huh.
So the leadership we've been electing, it is high time the people of Kenya and especially the youths, we
Yeah.
make the right decision by fully analyzing the characters of the people that we are giving the mandate to rule us or to
Okay,
be
thank
our leader.
you. There's somebody asking which country we are from. We are from our beautiful country, Kenya. Kenya is in the eastern side of Africa. If you are well to know the geography of the world, and the compensation, and this is something that we need to demand. I heard Boniface Monji was talking about it, and I concur with him that the compensation of the victim, our heroes, we don't even call them the victims. These are the heroes. One, they need to be celebrated. We have to build something to remind us of them, because this is the first time in the history of our country that a generation has defeated the president or the executive. This is the first time. So these are heroes. Then the compensation should not take long time. The family should be compensated immediately. Yeah, that is what the Kenyans now should demand for. Because if you look at history, even today, the the victims of post-election violence in 2007, 2008, they're still crying for compensation. Some of them have not been compensated. Yeah. Some of them
Don't even say the victims of 2007, 2008. There are so many people who fought for the what? There's so many people who fought so that the Wazungus would go back to where they came from
Mhm.
when you are getting independence. They've not been compensated up to date. There's so many people who are mishandled by those who by those the Europeans, the
Yes.
European soldiers. Up to date, they've never been compensated.
Mhm.
So it is so unfortunate if it were a leader or an
Yeah.
MP or
Mhm.
something has happened to them, they'll get the compensation that same day or the following day. It would not even go past a week.
Yeah.
This also
Yeah.
this is so strange. These people just care about themselves. They care about themselves, their families only. They don't care about the people of Kenya. They don't care about the youths. They don't care about the poor people who are going hungry. They
Mm.
don't care about people who are sleeping with people who are sleeping outside. They don't have houses. They don't have shelter. They don't have basic needs. The people we elected,
Mm.
once they get, uh, once they are sworn in,
Yeah.
they simply turn their heads and then they say they are no longer sufferers, they are now in a class and they have to maintain that class. And being in that class, they then tend to make decisions, or when they look down upon the people who voted them, they
Mhm.
see them as beggars, they
Mhm.
see them as people who are, literally have nothing and do not even have a knowledge to make the right decisions.
But, but,
That's the reason why you find that there's so many people who are learned,
mhm.
but if you go back home into the villages, not even in
Yes.
the villages,
Uh-huh.
people are using so many drugs. People, educated people, they've gotten into drugs just because the leadership does not care about them. We are wasting very nice, good brains that can help us to prosper, brains that can invent so many nice things. It is so
Oh,
unfortunate. We need to rethink when we are
yeah.
giving people leader, when we're electing people in leadership space.
Okay, thank you so much. If you're new here for the very first time, kindly do subscribe. It's for free. Share this video so that this conversation should continue. One thing that also I came to realize that the majority of parliamentarians, the majority, almost all of them, they don't do what we call conversation with the people that they elect. Because the reason why I'm saying this, if they were very keen enough to be doing the conversation, you know, the the with them, the you see the public participation could not have started with the budget committee. You know, the public participation could have started by you as an area of parliament. After knowing very well there's a bill that has been brought into the parliament, something like finance bill, that is very, very, very much crucial, is affecting the people. Go back to your constituency, have town halls meeting, ask them, this is the bill, what is your take? Before even you vote, you know. And the idea of selecting few people to go and do what we call public participation, the public participation should not only be done whereby, yeah, we spend so much money on something that already opinion is known. You know, it's just like public participation for formality, for us to say that we done something according to our constitution, yet we know the outcome. They could have gone to their constituency, interact with the people, let the people tell them what they know before they cast their votes. But they were full of themselves. They were very arrogant. They were they were very proud. And to make the matters worse, if you were very keen when the president was making his presser yesterday, yeah, behind him, you know, you want to tell you how some of these MPs, they're sycophants of the highest order. They're the chief priest of sycophancy. They are the same people who were clapping to president when they're saying this is the best bill so far. You know, now when president was saying I'm withdrawing the bill, they are behind the president clapping. Listen to majority of them when they are asking for those apologies. They're still congratulating president for withdrawing the bill. What are you thinking as an MP? Does it mean that the president is thinking for you? You cannot make your sound mind as a legislator who was elected as a state officer who represents the people You still wait the president to think for you, like, okay, now I'm withdrawing, then you clap. It tells you the highest of sycophancy we have in our country in the terms of leadership. And those kind of rogue, that's what we call rogue leadership. You know, the people who doesn't care, they only care for what benefit them. They don't care for what benefit Mama Mboga who is somewhere in Githurai. They don't care Mama Mboga who is somewhere in Rongai. They don't care. They care for themselves. You know, that's why they live a lavish life with posh cars. In a period of 2 years, an MP can decide to give 20 million. Where on earth is that one happening? If indeed the MP is thriving, the country that they are serving on is not thriving, what kind of leadership it does? Yeah. What do you think?
Yes, so I think on my side, most of these members of parliament, they do not really understand their role as a member of parliament. And I think it's because we made the wrong choices. Remember, I said, and it is true, that some of them are primary dropouts. Some of them never went to high school. Some of them never went to colleges or universities. But if you try analyzing, you'll find that they have got papers. So you cannot expect someone who dropped in primary to understand the role of a member of parliament. You cannot expect someone who dropped in primary to make decisions of his own or her own if automatically they would be dictated. They would be told, do this, because they're not learned. You know, when someone is not learned, you can simply sway them, and you can simply tell them, do this, they will do. Just because they believe, because you have money now. And then the problem you have also in Kenya is money is associated with education, which is wrong. Most people who are members of parliament, some of them are not even learned, but simply because they think they have money, they think, or people think, that is the narrative around, that they are learned. They are not. These people do not understand the role that they've been elected to perform. So you cannot expect them to do some miracles. That is the reason why the level of sycophancy in Kenya Kwanza government is at 100 and something, 100+%. It is because I remember when they were about to give a nod to this finance bill. I remember the choice of words that they would use. And then I also was trying to analyze when the president was then saying, I'm withdrawing this finance bill. And then now we were asking ourselves, what then is wrong? Does it mean that a group of members of parliament elected under the leadership of KK, they cannot make the right decisions? That is so unfortunate. As a people, we have to come out clearly, and I like what the youth of the Republic of Kenya are doing. You have to stand up and say no to corrupt leaders. You have to say no to leaders who are being told to do things as per the expectation of the ruling party or the people in higher positions.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm seeing my brother. Hey, my brother, how are you doing, sir? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you well. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Sorry, I'm in the middle of dealing with this baby, but I'll quickly chime in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my brother. How have you been?
I'm good. When the topic is too sweet, you can't let it, you have to dandia kidogo.
Asante sana kwa kudandia. Sisi unajua hapa tumekuwa tukijadili mambo nao inahusu nchi yetu, yeah?
Yeah.
Sana sana uongozi, tunasema ni njia gani ambao labda wananchi wanaweza tumia kuhakikisha kuwa viongozi ambao tunaweka katika uongozini, ya wasiwe uongozi ambao wako na madharau ya hali ya juu kama zile ambao labda tunaona na venye tu wanazungumza. Hivyo ndio sasa tumesema ili tukuje hapa at least tujaribu kuongea, tuzungumze na wananchi, tuwaambie vitu ambavyo fikra zetu kama wananchi wa Kenya pia.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and hi to my other brother who is hosting also, your co-host. He's doing a wonderful job. It's a good conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
What I'm glad, I think he highlighted, the host highlighted what the LSK president said, which she's a very bright woman. I'm very proud of her.
True.
You know, when Nelson Harvey left, I thought we'll be doomed, but she sounds like she's very competent, and she's doing a wonderful job. Now, one thing I was interested in is when these mandamanos ended, or after yesterday, they were not able to go to State House. I was thinking, so what is the next step? And apparently, I've seen they've posted a new Orodha, the 7 days of mourning. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I saw it.
So it seems like this Gen Z are going to try to protest every week, Thursdays and Tuesdays. Kuzidi kufinya huu rais, you see? Because, and I think it's also an effective way. And also if they start holding these MPs responsible, now that these MPs have been wameshtuliwa kidogo, you know, that Molo MP had his house and cars burned.
Yeah.
I think they know how serious and angry the people on the ground are.
Yeah.
And the problem is, if we can get the IBC
in place,
fixed, yes, we can start the process of removing these MPs. And after we recalling them, they can bring a motion, even if it's Babu Wino brings the motion, to start impeaching this president, because the tilt is not balanced. Kenya Kwanza are the majority because majority of them are these MPs from Mount Kenya. So if we can flip them, we get them to come on the other side, not to the Azimio side, but I'm just saying vote accordingly, reflecting the will of the people.
Will of the people, yes, I agree.
Yes, with that is when there's a good possibility. I doubt if Ruto will make it to 2027. I really doubt. But
and like to share what you're saying, I was also thinking this way, like as a country, we do not want to go the worst way, whereby we say, okay, 1 million march to State House, which people, the majority, the Kenyans can do it. We've seen what they've done, and they tell you like that alone give you that tip that it's possible. But if we do it that way and we leave vacuum in the office, and the people even that might inherit that office do not show that competency, they don't share the aspirations of Kenyans, that one might put us in a situation like country like Sudan. So by you talking about doing it through a constitutional process, I think that would be the best way so far, so that we don't let our country to dip into a big hole. Or that is what I think.
Yes, and it will depend on how this president will behave. I'm sure aliingizwa baridi kidogo after he saw what happened. But his response is not showing, mpaka unajua ni kichwa ngumu, so he wants to show that he's still ako in charge. So depending on when the parliament wakirudi, I think they're coming back on the 23rd of next month.
Yes,
because they're in recess. Wakiwacha hii bill iendelee, because I think about how the trick he was playing us. I think by law, if this thing
14 days.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
what would you say? 21 days?
21 days.
Yes, then it becomes law. So if it passes in that way, in that manner, I'm telling you, I think people will march to the State House. And one thing I also observed yesterday, the army were actually with the people.
Yep.
So they were even, in some places were saying, they were even telling the police not to tear gas. They were 90.
Yes.
So that is also something that Ruto should even worry more about, because watu wakiamua, just imagine, yesterday, even though I could succeed, just imagine if people decide on Thursday, people from all over country, every part of Kenya, waende State House, 6 million or 10 million, start walking towards State House. The police will not be able to handle that. And the army have showed that they are not willing to shoot their own people. So Ruto. I hope he will start making the changes that are needed. But like you said, we can either do this the easy way, which is by the constitution. I mean, even going to state house is also by the constitution, because it's the people expressing themselves, their rights, the sovereign authority.
Yes.
Directly.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, recalling these MPs first will be a more, less risk, since, you want to be putting a lot of people in danger. So I would rather go that route with you. So I'm with you there. I would rather recall these MPs first, then go for their Ruto, even if it's by 2026 up to a Ruto. You can wait to 2027, but majority of the people are tired of him.
Okay, let me, before we wind up, I was just talking with my co-host, and I said there's a problem we have, because today, I think you also saw the what we call the clergymen went to the State House, and they went to meet the president, and there were also some clergymen who went to the home of Kuria Kimani, the Molo MP, yeah? But if you go onto the internet, you see how our mothers are mourning. They are in pain because we are on is a mourning nation right now. Our mothers are mourning, and they decided to go to the State House. And yet we know how the State House has always been, especially when the clergy go there, because we know people will suspect they've gone for the envelope. What is your take on that?
Yeah, that's a good observation. Why invite clergymen, so-called clergymen, in the State House? If anything, if you wanted to bring religious leaders, why not invite everyone?
Yeah.
I'm a Lejo Maria. I want to go there.
Yeah.
Why don't you take me there? So he could have, if you wanted to show unity among religious leaders or whatever, people bring bishops and Waislamu and all those people, then announce that we are going to compensate people that died in Githurai, Rongai, everywhere in the country. See how we can compensate. But just, in fact, I never thought of that point. You made a very good point. Why meet this a few clergymen while their mothers mourning in the streets right now?
Yes.
Of their daughters and their sons. So yeah, I agree. That's just, it's just it's a photo op, just to show people, oh, you know what, I'm a religious man, but there's nothing there. Yeah.
I'm one person who has always been advocating that we should go on a factory reset and maybe look at our African spirituality and see how was our forefathers, they used to treat their children within African spirituality scope, the spirit of Ubuntu. Because I feel like the churches that we have today, they are still, some of them are still carrying with them the colonization of mind, whereby decision has to be made for us and say, okay, we are going to negotiate on your behalf. How can you negotiate on a behalf of somebody who has lost a daughter? How can you negotiate on a behalf of somebody who is mourning a child? How can you negotiate on a behalf of somebody who have just lost the mother? So I think we should go back and on factory reset and look at our African spirituality and compare it with the religion. Then we can see where we are. That is my thought. I might be wrong.
Last statement before I leave. Me as a Jaroho.
Yeah.
Christianity started before the European. Actually,
yes.
People say we adopted Christianity. We did not. Christianity was there before the Europeans came to Africa.
Yeah.
So you're right. We need to go back to that. But I think spirituality is an individual issue. You can, you can decide to become a Jaroho like me, or you can go to Islam or whatever it is. So but we need to find solutions. We shouldn't be listening to. We should think, if these religious leaders tell us something, we should see if it's something that benefits the people, or is it just somebody saying what he say. But I have to go. Thank you so much, Brother Benson, and the host, I forgot his name. Obura?
It's called Marco Bura.
Marco Bura. Thank you, sir. Mweshimiwa. Asante sana. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother, and for joining us on a short notice. And this is a discussion that we will always have for the sake of our beloved country, Kenya. Marco Bura, thank you so much. And I know tomorrow, if we find time, there's so many things to discuss. We will also be here to discuss about issue. Maybe your last remarks before we close the show.
My last remarks are, since you're talking about good, how we can get the right leaders, I want to address the people who are currently in leadership. They have to think twice. They have to consider the will of the people. They have to consider the cries of the people, because that is the most important bit. Remember, they are subjects of the people. We are the people who are paying them. The taxes that we are paying is what is enabling them to live the kind of luxurious life that they are living. I'm so shocked that a CS has a shoe or a watch that is costing 10 million. Senate majority leader has a shoe that is costing 170,000 Kenyan shillings. The president has been seen rolling with very expensive. You ask yourself, at the expense of poor people who cannot even afford a simple meal, cannot even afford the basic need. Let them be realistic. Let them stand up and remember that they are leading a group of people who are still suffering. So they have to make the right decision to ensure that everyone at least enjoys life when they are in leadership.
Okay, thank you so much, thank you so much, Makubura, for taking your time to have a conversation right now. And for those who are watching us for the very first time, share and like this video. You can also join us by subscription. It is for free, and let us have this conversation, as I've always said, so that we can make a better country. There's no any other beautiful country like Kenya. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. This is Brother Benson Media, and me, your host and co-host, Mark Obura. Thank you so much. May God bless you.